This project was the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Library and Museum in Fremont, Ohio. This was the first presidential library museum in the United States, originally breaking ground in 1912 and completing the library museum in 1916. So scope of work on this project was a tear-off of the current EPDM rubber and underlying insulation. We came back with tapered polyiso, fully adhered, and then we fully adhered the Durafleece 50 mil system and installed parapets on all the walls to complete this system and gave the customer a 20-year NDL labor material warranty. So normally for our project videos, we highlight our biggest challenge in regards to that project. But when it comes to this project, specifically, it presented a lot of big challenges that we had to overcome. Number one, this building housed priceless materials throughout the history of Fremont, of the president's personal collection. These things are irreplaceable. There's literally one of ones all throughout the building that cannot get damaged because they cannot be replaced. So knowing that, we had to be very conscientious of how we install this roof, of the weather, and of how we complete the tie-ins to make sure they were always watertight in case weather changed and it rained overnight. Another one of the challenges we faced was 80% of the wings ponded water after a rainstorm. So knowing that, it was very important for us to be intentional about how we designed the tapered system. We collaborated with the Duralast engineers and came up with a tapered system specifically tailored for these roofs. And in some areas that included 9 inches of additional tapered insulation in order to get the water to the drains properly. So lastly, another challenge that we faced with this project was the scope of work change. So in August, there was a windstorm that knocked a tree over that caused a giant hole in the roof that saturated all the insulation and substrate. It was an emergency repair that we had to deploy the same day and fix, but unfortunately it changed the scope of work from a re-roof to a tear-off. Once this change occurred, we had to come up with a new plan, a new approach to how we were going to excavate the materials from the roof to the ground without disrupting the traffic. There's a lot of people that come to the Rutherford B. Hayes Center. It is a focal point in Fremont, and we didn't want to disrupt the visitors. We didn't want to discourage them from coming during the project, so we had to make sure we did this in a thoughtful way. We had to direct traffic away from the dangerous areas, and we also had to minimize the amount of space that we were taking up so that pedestrians had as much room as possible to come visit. This building is a very significant building in the area locally where we're from. It's the first presidential library museum in the United States. We took it very seriously. We made sure that we didn't allow any water to infiltrate the building during the process to damage any of the priceless historical artifacts. And we were successful, and the team made it happen, and we're very happy with how it turned out. The customer's very happy with how it turned out. It was an honor to roof this building.